Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'm going to be explaining why I'm moving over to these Hobonichis instead of doing bullet journaling. The main reason why I'm changing is because I have really been getting into daily journaling. So if I can show you an example, I have been splitting my page up like this and I started to really fill the slots that I'd given myself. So I was, even in this page, I had to run over to the extra space. So I have really been getting into journaling and I do feel quite confined in the layout that I have, but also I don't want to use too many of these books because they are quite bulky. So I really like the idea of having a Hobonichi, and having all of these daily pages at the back was the main reason why I decided that I wanted to switch. I also had seen the Hobonichi Weeks and seen how similar the layout was to my current journal. So I first started thinking about switching back in January, but I decided that I would just stick to doing my bullet journaling as it meant I didn't have to spend any money. But then I just started watching more and more videos on YouTube, specifically Princess Honey and Whips I Did It Again, and I really like both of their channels and I will link them down below. And it really made me want to get a Hobonichi Cousin. So the layout of this planner is you've got your month at a glance kind of future log, and then monthlies, weeklies and dailies. Now the only thing that had stopped me from purchasing this back in January was the fact that I knew how much I would love the Hobonichi Cousin if it had the weeks in it rather than these weeks. So if it had been like this, I would have purchased one in January without a doubt, but I just knew that I needed this layout to get me through my university. Now I basically caved in the end and I really desperately wanted one of these planners, and I really wanted it because journaling started to become something that I really wanted to do, and I started watching channels where they just do memory planning, and so I kind of then bought this and thought, right, I will have this as my journal. I can do to-do lists and just kind of decorate it. So I have been experimenting in my bullet journal with how I would do this, and this is kind of what I've kind of settled on. So I'd have my to-do list coming down here, kind of Tombow penning at the top here the day, just so that it kind of stands out, because that's the only issue I have with this is it says Monday but it's so small I don't care as much about what day it is. As you can see, I'm writing that smaller, so I'll probably do that, and then just journal down here and just kind of decorate the bottom and any extra room that I may have. And I think it really is working for me. I'm practicing doing different like lettering styles and my Tombow pens, and I'm really enjoying that. So I'm really looking forward to getting into the Hobonichi for that aspect. And then I decided that I could use these weekly spreads, and that I just kind of, it would be quite interesting to kind of time block, because I'll actually be hopefully in person again. So time blocking out my week of where I'll be, what I'll be doing. I really like the idea of that. Now I've kind of changed my mind so much because I've ended up getting this week's, but that was the original plan, and obviously just using the monthly calendars as monthly calendars. And the main appeal to this was that it was a way that I could do my daily journaling and have monthly, like weekly set up all in one very small, this is the Avec, so it's only half a year, book that I'd be able to use, and I wouldn't have to set anything up while I'm at university. So before I went to undergrad, I had a break from bullet journaling and I bought just a normal weekly calendar diary thing, and I really did actually enjoy having it all set up when I was so busy starting university, but it wasn't quite the style that I liked, so that's why I stopped using it. So the Hobonichi was kind of calling my name because I really wanted a planner, and I really loved the idea of having all of these daily pages. So I managed to go on a Facebook selling group and I found the second half of 2021, and she was selling it with this jelly cover, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. So that is why I got this journal. Then I was looking and I saw that the Spring Start weeks were on sale, and I started to think about realistically how I would be using this. So I would be using this either to pre-plan my weeks, or I could use it as a memory planner, but I couldn't do both at the same time. And I could use this for journaling and to do my to-do lists, but that kind of is muddling everything up. So I decided that I would buy a Weeks, and this would be where I'd house all of my weekly tasks for university and kind of write down when I had lectures and where I needed to be for all of my uni stuff. So that's going to be the plan. This is going to be a kind of memory kind of journal at the back, do highlights on the monthly pages, and do weekly, like keeping track of what I actually did and how I was spending my time at university, because I think that's going to be really interesting to look back on. So this will all be memory and back planning, and this will be all of my forward planning and telling me where I actually need to be. So I won't be going to university until October. That's the week we're in. So that's literally 6 months into this book. So the plan is that I will use the 6 months that are actually in this book, and then I will go back and redate all of the ones before so that it works for the whole academic year. The reason why I decided to do this was Hobonichi don't do an academic year. I think their academic year starts in spring, which is why they have the spring start ones and the January start ones. So I thought that this would be the best way for me to actually get the whole year in, because a master's degree is a whole year rather than just kind of the academic year of September to July. So I mean, either way it would be over the thing, which would be quite annoying, but yeah. So I purchased this, and this is going to literally be, I'm going to come in and write down my lectures, tutorials, anything like that, have my to-do list for each of my modules and just anything I need to get done that week, and then this way I can have an overview of my week, and then in my daily pages I can just come and look at this and then have my to-do list and write it out here. And I actually really enjoy this because I'm able to look at everything at once and still have a whole page per day for journaling. So even if I've got events, I will probably write them in and tasks, because that kind of gives a picture of my day. So I probably will use this, and then say I'm going to the library. I don't know how much that will happen next year. It depends on how I end up working in my room, but say I do decide I want to go to the library, I can just come in and write down what I want to get done while I'm there. I don't need to then take my cousin around with me. So this is the plan of what I'm going to be doing. I will also be using these monthlies just to fill in like any future dates, and I will probably also be using these just as like an actual calendar. So rather than using the monthly calendars where I barely write anything in my calendars, just for an example, this is April, it's just kind of a term begins, my project's due, I'm looking after Sam, when I'm away, where I am kind of thing. It's kind of a very brief overview, I don't write much in it, so it seemed like a waste to use these for that when I literally have some pages here. So this will be kind of monthly stuff, as well as if I want to look at it on a calendar view, then I've got these ones. So I feel like between these I will kind of write things in, probably more in here. I don't really know, maybe I won't use these monthlies. If you've got any idea what to do with these monthlies, please let me know down below, because I don't write my lectures in on a monthly calendar. That's why I never really use them in the bullet journal, was because for me it just works so much better putting it instantly into the week, because it would fill up the calendar so much. So let me know if you have any ideas, but the plan is that I will use this as like my anything future, like dentist, doctor's appointments, social events, and then have my highlights in these calendars. And then my weeks will just kind of be retrospective, filling in what I actually did each day and how I spent my time. And then these will be daily journaling and decorativeness, and just kind of me recording my life and basically a diary. So it's basically a diary and a planner, and that is going to be my plan. And the reason why I'm switching over from my bullet journal is because this has the paper in here is so thin, you can fit so many days into a book, and I will hopefully be buying the full year in one book because that really appeals to me. I'm going to see how much this gets like chunked up with stickers and washi tapes. But this is going to be very memory planning, and this will be kind of my so this will be my diary, and this will be my journal. No, wrong way. This will be my diary and journal, and this will be my planner. So that's the plan. Please let me know down below if you think this is going to be a good change. If you have any tips for changing over into Hobonichi, please let me know down below. And I will see you in my next video.